A Harvard graduate can go bankrupt. A janitor with a sixth grade education can die with $8 million in the bank. This is not a story about intelligence. It is a story about behavior. And according to Morgan Housel, that is the one thing no finance course will ever teach you. Today we are going inside the psychology of money. Ronald Read worked at a gas station in Vermont for 25 years. He then worked at JCPenney as a janitor. He lived in a small wooden house. He drove a used car. Nobody in his town knew he was quietly buying stock with every dollar he could save. Every week, decades of patient reading. He never chased a tip. He just compounded. When he died at 92, his estate was worth over $8 million. That same year, a Harvard-educated executive with a Merrill Lynch career filed for bankruptcy. One had almost no formal education. The other was world-class. The gap between them was not knowledge. It was how they behaved. Morgan Housel's argument is simple, and it will make most of what you know about money feel wrong. In 1968, a 13-year-old boy named Bill Gates attended one of the only high schools in the world with a working computer. His best friend Kent Evans was sitting next to him. Kent had the same talent, the same curiosity, the same drive. Before senior year, Kent went on a mountaineering trip. Kent Evans died in that mountaineering accident. Bill Gates went on to build Microsoft. Kent had the same talent. He had different luck. Housel uses this story to make one point. The line between bold and reckless is drawn by luck, not skill, and we almost never admit it. Which means every success and every failure you will ever see is part skill, part dice. Warren Buffett bought his first stock when he was 10 years old. He is worth over $100 billion today. But 99% of that wealth came after he turned 50. He didn't outsmart the market. He outlasted it. This is what compounding looks like. Almost nothing for decades, then everything. Buffett still lives in the same modest Omaha house he bought in 1958. That is not an accident. It is the whole strategy. Most people give up before the curve bends. Time is the rarest ingredient. Not intelligence, not capital, not timing. In 2008, Wall Street collapsed. The people who fell hardest were not the ones with the worst ideas. They were the ones with no room for error. Meanwhile, the people who had saved quietly for years, who did not over-leverage, who had room for the worst case, they ate dinner as normal. Housel calls this room for error. It is not sexy. It will not make you rich fastest, but it is the only reason anyone stays rich for long. A 50% loss requires a 100% gain to recover, but a 10% loss only requires 11%. Survival is mathematical before it is emotional. The wealthiest people Housel knows are not the ones who hit home runs. They are the ones who never got knocked out of the game. The lesson Housel keeps returning to: save like a pessimist, invest like an optimist. Fear and faith in the same portfolio. 3 things change if you take this book seriously. 1. Your behavior matters more than your knowledge. 2. Luck is a bigger factor than anyone will admit. 3. Room for error is the only thing that lets you stay in the game long enough for time to do its work. That is the psychology of money. Next week, Nassim Taleb's Fooled by Randomness. Subscribe so you don't miss it.